Welcome to Bank One Ballpark in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. It's the third game of this three-game series and the rubber game as well between the Colorado Rockies and the Arizona Diamondbacks. And a pleasant good afternoon to you. Alongside the Hall of Famer Joe Garagiola, I'm Thom Brennaman. Welcome as always to Arizona Diamondbacks baseball. And well, Joe, maybe a little too late for the Bats. They came alive here last night, scoring 16 runs.
I tell you, for a while there, I looked pretty safe with a 7-run lead. Then they made it close, and the Bats did wake up. But you have to wonder, was it against bad pitching or was it good hitting or what? Because this ball club has got you asking questions all year long. We're
going to get to that in 1 second. You look at today's pitching matchup. It'll be Jason Jennings, last year's National League Rookie of the Year for Colorado, a 12-game winner this year. And Randy Johnson on the mound, Joe, for the Diamondbacks.
Well, Randy, you wonder about him. Is that 40-year-old birthday going to be a factor? Is he going to feel older or what? But I think the games he's going to pitch now are like auditioning.
Joe, you brought up the what-if question. That is our Nissan key to the game. You have been down this road before where you're winding down the season. Are they mathematically eliminated yet? No, they're not. There's still a chance, but it certainly is unlikely.
Well, you think you have a chance till they put that X next to your name. But what these days are, Tom, and I've been through it. When I was with the Cubs or Pittsburgh, we knew opening day we weren't going to win it. We knew that. But I've been on ball clubs we thought we were going to win it. And right now it's a reality check. These guys, I think, beginning with these games, I'm talking about the Diamondbacks, are going to have what if. The coulda and shoulda and woulda. And unfortunately for them, I think it's going to be their all winner because it started in April. It did not just hit them. They had one streak, and the rest of the time they're going to be thinking about games. Did I really play the way I should have played and the way I'm capable of playing? And that's a haunting thing to live with.
Start the season 3-11. It's mighty tough to catch up. You mentioned that 12-game win streak they had, and then they've been a very inconsistent group, especially since the All-Star break, to fall almost out of the wild card race. Well, we talked about the Bats. They were smoking here last night. Guys like Mondesi and Alex Cintrone and company. A season-high 16 runs. The Diamondbacks and the Rockies winding up this series in a moment. Real good crowd again here at Bank One Ballpark in downtown Phoenix. We had 40,000 at the ballpark here last night. And they enjoy themselves. The Diamondbacks winning 16-6. Clint Hurdle and his starting lineup for the Colorado Rockies. A lot of youngsters in there today against Randy Johnson. Chris Steins at second. Garrett Atkins is at third. Preston Wilson in center. Jay Payton in left. Kip Pello at first. Rene Reyes in right. Charles Johnson catching. Clint Barmas a shortstop. And Jason Jennings, a 12-12 record, is on the mound. Our auto checklist on Diamondback left-hander and 5-time Cy Young Award winner Randy Johnson.
I think Randy's been kind of experimenting and trying to find himself after that knee surgery the scoping or whatever. I mean, kind of probing. Remember how he used to hold his glove up to his face before he pitched? Now it's at the belt, as you can see. His location, by his own admission, hasn't been what he wants it to be, but keeps going along and keeps his ball club in the game, let's put it that way. But I would think that these would be games that he would try to just let it go and see what's happening and where am I when the season starts.
Let's take a look at the Diamondbacks defensively, presented by Budweiser. It'll be Gonzalez, Finley, and Mondesi in the outfield. Hillenbrand and Cintrone on the left side of the infield with Counsell and Grace on the right side. First starts for those two in a long time, a battery of Johnson and Robbie Hammock.
Mark Grace at first base, that's been a strange position for him. He hasn't been there all year long. Last night made a fine play, so he's getting a chance to start. Counsell at second base, been out in that lineup, kind of been the lost man, the odd man out. And so it looks like they're trying to find some things out.
Grace making only his 27th start of the year over at first. Ball one high and away, and we are underway. Steins at 263, 11 home runs, 67 runs batted in. Steins 4 of 14 in his career against Randy Johnson, and that one low and away, 2 balls and no strikes.
Boy, they talk about trigger mechanisms when you hit signs. It's got all kinds of them. He's wide open. I mean, really facing the guy. When you look at him as the pitcher does head to toe, he's wide open. Then he'll kick his leg a la Melad or Sadararo O, and he's all over the place. I don't know how you can hit like that, Tom. I don't know how you can hit like that. I really don't.
The only other guy I've seen walk around like that, Joe, in recent years anyway, was Hal Morris. He nearly won a batting title or two. But he was a left-handed hitter and didn't start open like Steins does.
Hey, whatever you're comfortable with. I mean, I'm not being critical. If he feels comfortable, do it.
Fouled away, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
You watch him. He gets set and he moves his back foot. Then he's wide open. He'll go into a, I would say, a fairly normal stance, but kick his left leg up. I mean, from head to toe, when you watch him, there's a lot of action. Focus on his back foot before the delivery. Now he's wide open. There goes that back foot. There goes the cock of the leg, and it should be an easy out.
It is an easy out. Hillenbrand stepping in front of Cintron and throws out Steins, 1 away.
I mean, he is really busy in that batter's box. There goes that back foot, up goes the leg, and there he's all triggered in, but he slips getting out of there. I don't know what kind of spike shoes he's got, if he indeed is wearing spike shoes, but it gets a little damp and muddy around that home plate is the only way I can put it.
Strike 1 to Garrett Atkins, a rookie playing in his 8th game with a big league club. Spent almost the entire year at AAA. 9 hits and 47 big league at bats with 4 RBIs. And that one popped up to the right side. A fastball by Johnson at 95 miles per hour. And Grace has got it 2 away. Joe, you hear it said all the time, and I'm curious, does it really mean something? For a guy like Randy Johnson, is it really important that he pitches well the last 3 or 4 times out, meaning to have a successful carryover into next year?
I think with what he's gone through, yes. Only because he's had that knee injury. I don't think it's ever a question of his stuff, but it has to happen to him. What's going on inside Randy Johnson, who's a perfectionist? You've heard him in press conferences talk about his location isn't here and all that. I mean, this guy's got, you know, superior stuff. So he could really throw to a guy's power and get by with it. I think it's very important for him to finish strong.
0-1 to Wilson. Fastball again at 95. He just reared back and said, here it is.
Oh, he can throw it right by you. See, I think that whole thing of not by the face or the belt, that's all cosmetic. I mean, to me, it's where you feel comfortable. If it helps your mechanics, do it. If he wants to put the glove behind him and it helps him, do it. But it's when he gets right there, that's when it makes the difference.
And that fastball at 96 miles per hour. So he's cutting it loose early in the game here today.
Well, I think that's what he really has to do. And let's test that knee or whatever it is.
Slider grounded foul.
I don't think you ever have to worry about Johnson's stuff. No way.
Wilson, the major league RBI leader with 136, 10 more than Carlos Delgado. That fastball at 97. A 1-2-3 opening inning for Randy Johnson. No score in the ball game. A 1-2-3 top of the first for Randy Johnson. So now Bob Brenly in his starting lineup, presented by Progressive Auto Insurance, has Steve Finley leading off at center, Greg Counsell at second, Luis Gonzalez in left, Raul Mondesi the right fielder, Alex Cintron at short, Shea Hillenbrand at third, with a latter third of Mark Grace, Robbie Hammock, and Randy Johnson. And on the mound for the Rockies, we told you the National League's Rookie of the Year last season, Jason Jennings.
Interesting, that last one, season of streaks, and boy, do we know all about that. But he's got, simply put, good stuff.
28 victories over the last 2 years for Jason Jennings. And that is roughly 20% of the Rockies win total over the last 2 years. It's amazing. He had lost 8 games in a row until his last start, when he beat the Cardinals, gave up 1 run in 6 innings. Strike 1 to Finley. And this guy will compete. Swing and a miss by Steve. A .286 batter, 20 home runs, 64 runs batted in.
I was on the bench kind of by myself today, and Cintron came out. He was checking his bat to see if it was broken, so we got talking about bats. And he said he's gone to a little bit lighter bat. And then Finley has been using one of his bats because in September guys get maybe a little tired and they want a little bit lighter bat. But since he's been using Cintron's bat, he's really been on a tear.
Well, he just broke his bat.
But Cintron's got a bunch of them. They don't just have 2 bats in that box. If you're playing every day, you got boxes of them.
0-2 to Finley. And popped up a mile high. Right at the mound. Who wants it? Jennings a call, and then runs into the first baseman, Kid Pello. We told you that Jennings will compete. This guy may not look like the most athletic guy in the world, but he's a good athlete, and he is out there to win every game he gets a ball.
Usually the pitcher is the traffic cop. He's the guy that calls it, but Johnson doesn't know where it is. And there's Jennings saying, I got it, but here comes the big first baseman Pello in there, and down goes Jennings. He sees it. Johnson, you saw him take a look. Johnson didn't know where it was, and everybody got lockjaw. All they have to do is just holler. You don't want that pitcher handling that ball. You really don't, although this guy's a competitor, as you said, Tom.
Craig Counsell at .226, 3 home runs, 19 runs batted in. 2-0. Craig got a couple of at-bats late in the game last night. Bounced out twice to the second baseman, and this one lined right at the third baseman. 2 up, 2 down. Well, the last 2 at-bats, Counsell has hit the ball very, very hard and nothing to show for it. Colorado on defense. Talked about all the youngsters in the lineup today, including Reyes in right, Pello at first, Barmes at short, Atkins at third.
Counsell was taking a lot of batting practice in the cage, and he was trying to go the opposite way. In the 2 at-bats last night, he tried to pull that ball, hit one hard, but right at the second baseman.
Breaking ball down low to Luis Gonzalez, a .301 batter. Hit his 24th home run of the year here last night. 95 runs batted in. The Diamondbacks scored more runs last night than their last 5 games combined. Ground ball right side. That'll end the inning. We go to the second. No score. For news around the major leagues, Peter Piper Pizza presents Slice of the Majors. Florida Marlins will play in Philadelphia, 3-game series beginning Tuesday night. The Minnesota Twins will lock up with the White Sox this week at the Metrodome. And then Oakland and Seattle going to be getting together next weekend. They will play the final 2 weekends of the regular season. Atlanta has just scored 3 runs in the top of the 9th inning. The Marlins led that game 4-3. And now they've added 2 more runs. 5 runs in the 9th. And the Braves an 8-4 lead over the Marlins. Meanwhile, Philadelphia has already beaten the Pirates today 10-7.
Think there'll be a little fun between Boa and McKeon.
I'm sure you read some of those comments
Yeah.
between the two. Very, very interesting.
McKeon had him as a manager when Jack was the general manager over at San Diego, and apparently going at it pretty good.
Yeah, McKeon apparently said that, you know, this time of year you've got to temper your temper. You can't get excited. You can't let the scoreboard watching be a distraction. McKeon said if the manager starts to panic, the players are going to panic. He said, I've got to be calm and reserved. I can't show them anything. And Boa said, well, this must be Bash Larry Boa week. That went into center field and Finley to run it down. He said, I don't care about the Marlins. I don't care what McKeon thinks. I don't care what Art Howe thinks. I don't care what any other manager thinks. They should worry about their team. And if they're worried about my team, they've got their own problems.
You know, panic doesn't just show up with temper. I mean, it's moves that you make is where the panic shows up. And Boa, I tell you, he's a half-lit firecracker walking around. Boy, you just wait for him to explode.
Kid Pillow the batter, and it's in there a strike.
Great name for a soap opera guy, Kid Pillow.
Well, he got his first major league start 3 days ago in St. Louis and hit a home run. That ball in the air at Finley. 2 up, 2 down. Rene Reyes batting .275 since being brought up to the major leagues with a home run and 4 runs batted in. Saw him the other night as a pinch hitter.
Randy's been throwing mostly fastballs. He really hasn't shown that biting slider yet, and he's got 2 outs here in the second.
Reyes getting his 19th start since his recall. He was a Pacific Coast League All-Star this season, was batting .343 with 50 runs batted in over the first half. That one lined into right out. Mondesi will run it down. Nice play by Raul. 6 up, 6 down for Johnson. We head for the bottom of the second. No score. Don't forget Fandemonium Weekend. The final 3 games of the regular season here at Bank One Ballpark. Great prizes given away. I mean, we're giving away cars, the shirts off our D-backs, where you can get those scratcher cards and win an autographed jersey of the players that they wear during the game. All kinds of goodies to give away. So come on down. That final weekend against the St. Louis Cardinals, the last weekend of September. Raul Mondesi fouls it away on the first pitch. Scoreless game, bottom of the second inning.
We talk about Boa. How about old Tony La Russa in St. Louis? He's going through it right now.
Well, they're in the bottom of the 8th inning in Houston today, and the Cardinals are 3 outs away from getting swept in what was their biggest series of the year when play began on Friday night. I mean, they have one more series against Houston, but not good. I don't know how in the world you blame La Russa. I mean, they had a pitching staff all year long that has been one of the worst in all of baseball. And now all of a sudden the last 2 weeks they're not hitting. They got shut out last night. They've got 1 run today.
We know all about that here at Bank One Ballpark. Say, I don't know how you can blame La Russa. It comes with the job.
Yeah, you're right.
Who do you blame? Manager. It's been around baseball for so many years. Too much credit when they win, too much blame when they lose.
3-1 on Mondesi overall. 21 home runs this year. 64 runs batted in between the Yankees and the Diamondbacks. Mondi had 3 hits, scored 4 runs, knocked in 4 here last night. Check swing, and he went around. Full count. pitch coming to Mondesi. And a breaking ball is high, ball 4. First base runner for either team in a game here today.
Interesting call. 3-2, a curveball, and it hung high for Jennings, and Mondesi gets the base on balls. You would think with nobody on, man, leading off, he'd try to throw a fastball strike, but maybe he felt that Mondesi too good a fastball hitter. One pitch, base on balls. That was a difference.
Now Alex Centron. Breaking ball at the knees, and there's a strike. That's a breaking ball he was looking for. 3-2 to Mondesi.
That's the one he was looking for, but he just wasn't there. Boy, is this kid locked in, Centron.
.310 batter, 12 home runs, 47 batted in. At his first 4-hit game last night, was on base all 5 plate appearances. 2 doubles, 2 singles, knocked in a run, scored twice, and drew a walk. Swung on and foul out of play. Joe, I continue to get back, and you and I have talked about this the last 3 weeks with Centron. There is something to be said for such a young player being at his best here the second half of the season. He's never given away at bats. I mean, very easy last night. He had 3 hits and a walk. He could have phoned in that last at bat. Been a good night.
Absolutely.
Nope. There and down.
There's another kind of a hidden thing with him. My seats are on the first base side in the infinity level when I'm not here, and I always put the binoculars on the bench to see what's going on. This kid, more than anybody, is constantly talking to somebody, and I know he's asking questions, be it pitcher, coach, catcher, whatever.
Pulled in the right field, another base hit for Centron. He's been on base now 6 straight plate appearances and 7 of the last 8.
Watch that. He's that foot's set, and he just pulls those hands in and hits one to right field, a base hit. Watch him. He's set right there. He's got a good swing from both sides of the plate, which is kind of rare. Usually it's you hit better from one side to the other. Not this kid. You gotta like him.
Now Shea Hillenbrand, a .265 batter, 14 home runs, 53 batted in. Breaking ball and a good one there on the inside corner. Strike 1. See the overall numbers for Hillenbrand with Boston and the Diamondbacks. Good solid numbers. Two on, nobody out. And a little jam shot foul ball. He may have broken his back. Yep, he did.
Threw the curveball to set up that fastball, and he got it in a good spot.
Back on July the 7th against Jason Jennings. Hillenbrand had 2 of his 3 home runs in the game against the Colorado starter. Two on, nobody out. Nothing in 2 the count. Jennings, a pause in the pitch. Fastball, strike 3 called on the inside corner, 1 away.
He wasn't going to work on him. He just came right down the middle with it. No doubt about it. Nothing could caught Hillenbrand by surprise.
Now Mark Grace with 2 on and 1 out. Strike 1. Grace in very limited playing time this year. A .188 batter, 3 home runs, 16 batted in. A career .303 hitter.
Well, last night, I'm telling you, first inning, a lot of pitches. I think 63 or 65, something like that. And I asked how many baseballs were used in last night's game. How many do you think?
Oh,
12 dozen.
Wow.
And the biggest culprit, and I'm not picking on the umpires, they were giving them out in the stands like they were M&M candies. I mean, I saw Brian Runge walk over there and just hand 5 baseballs to the kids. I'm saying to myself, I wonder if that guy paid for him if he'd do that.
Well, you know the answer to that question.
Hey, umpires, they're magicians. They can turn autographed balls into shoes, suits, everything.
1-2 to Mark Grace. Up and in, 2-2.
I think the average amount that they use is 6 dozen. 12 dozen, that's a lot of baseballs.
A lot of baseballs.
I mean, they don't even look at them now, and they throw them out of the game if they hit the dirt. Which to me, and you can watch that today. I'm going to tell you what I do at a ball game. Just a minute.
He thought about it and then gets back to the bag.
A ball will hit the dirt. He'll look at it and throw it out, right? Now, here's the pickoff. He gets behind him, and he took his eye. Mondesi had no, he was decoying. Gets back to him plenty of time. Although you never know what he's going to do. He sees that ball, and he's going to deke him into something. He stopped. He made a U-turn before anything could happen. My point is that a ball hits the dirt. If you catch it, the umpire looks at it, throws it out. A batter hits a ground ball to the infield. They throw it to first, still in play. The dirt is cleaner from home plate out.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. Well, that's always been universally known, Joe.
I didn't know that.
3-2 to Mark Grace. Runners go. How about that? Grace has always been one of the top contact hitters in the National League during his entire career. Although this isn't the same Mark Grace this year that played with the Cubs for all those seasons.
In fact, that's one of the things. We watch all the movement here. The infield gets broken up. But also, Mark Grace, not as fast as he used to be, and he certainly is a double play prospect. So start the runners, break up the infield. You might sneak one through.
3-2 coming to Grace. They will start again. Swing and a miss. Easy. Strike him out, throw him out, double play. Oh, my goodness. They say that Atkins missed a tag at third.
Here comes Hurdle. That ball was there 5 minutes before Mondesi. They had to wait for him. He didn't tag him. Mondesi shaking his head, but that's what you would expect. I mean, they got it. He knows. He's watching. Look at this. They're waiting for him. He never tagged him. He tagged him with his elbow. That's a pretty good call. Watch that glove. Let's see. Missed him. There's the elbow. You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of that World Series when Elrod Henry tagged Bernie Carbo with the empty glove.
Yep.
And Burkhardt called him out.
1970.
Yeah, I was doing that. And I tell you, Burkhardt, no roommate of mine, he was going bonkers, and Sparky went really ballistic. But he did not tag him. How do you like that? Got to give him an error.
Well, they scored a caught stealing. And then an error on the third baseman, Atkins.
I mean, he was waiting for him.
Slider down and away to Robbie Hammock, a .305 batter, 8 home runs, 28 runs batted in.
Boy, a base hit right here would really let the air out of the balloon for the Colorado Rockies, because they should have been out of the inning.
1-1 to Robbie.
Get a pretty good gauge on the pitcher Jennings to see what he does after this play. He's got to pick his third baseman up.
Fastball strike called on the outside corner, and Jennings ahead of Robbie Hammock at a ball and 2 strikes. Mondesi the runner at third, Centron at second base, and a 1-2. Got him to chase. Yep, strike 3. Leadoff walk, then a single, and Jennings fans Hillenbrand, Grace, and Hammock to get out of the inning. It's time for our America West Airlines Flight Fun Fly Ball contest, and our contestant today, Julian Mahalik of Sun Lakes, has gone with left fielder Luis Gonzalez. And Julian, if Gonzo catches a fly ball this inning, you win 20,000 Flight Fun miles on America West Airlines, and up for 1 free round trip ticket. Good luck. Pretty good start, Joe, for Randy Johnson today. 6 batters faced, couple of hard hit balls, but 6 up, 6 down.
But thrown a lot of strikes, and again, I said it earlier, we haven't seen that biting slider, which he gets a lot of strikeouts on. He's only made 22 pitches, and we're going into the top of the 3rd inning. Last night 63 pitches, 3 times more in the 1st inning. I mean, it was like a little league game, a bad little league game, not like the Chandler kids were playing. That Chandler team, that kid was throwing strikes. Those guys last night, forget it. I mean, Batista was throwing 55-foot fastballs. The other guy was throwing 47-foot fastballs, and happens to be 60 feet 6 inches to the home plate.
Randy, a first pitch fastball to Charles Johnson in there, strike 1. Randy has struck out 1, retired all 6 Rockies through the first 2 innings, and working quickly out there on the mound. Slider grounded foul, 0-2.
That's all part of it, I think. I think he has to answer a lot of questions that only he can answer. Am I throwing it where I want it? Am I throwing it with the velocity? Does it have the bite? Is my rhythm between pitches the same? I'll tell you, that fastball was very effortless when he threw that ball. It just jumped out of his hand, and they clocked it at 94.
Seen a couple 97 already today. That one at 96, fouled away by Johnson. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Joe, I think you may have described it better than anything right there. I mean, he really does today look like everything is just easy.
Jumping
and
out.
Exploding to the plate.
That ball is bending halfway up to home plate. I mean, he's really got good rotation on it so far.
Slider grounded out off the glove of Hillenbrand. Centron picks it up, throws in time to get Johnson.
And it just means that Centron is wide awake. He didn't take it for granted that Hillenbrand was going to make the play. He watched that play and then saw it get out of his glove. And I mean, that's one of those that hit him right in the middle of the glove, and clang, clang. That's a Black & Decker model when they hit you there, man. Doink. You really feel bad. One of the great lines I ever heard in the broadcast booth. I'm trying to think, because it wasn't me. I didn't say it, but they were.
Red, maybe Red.
No, it wasn't Red Barber. He wouldn't think like that. He'd be reading some English book, so he'd get the syntax right. But they were talking about Dick Stewart working on his glove, and I think it was Richie Ashburn said, "They don't need somebody to sew that glove. They need a welder."
It's a good line.
Oh man, that's icy.
0-2 to Barmas. Swing and a miss. Johnson. That fastball at 95, his second strikeout of the afternoon. He's retired the front 8 with a pitcher Jennings who can swing that bat coming up.
High fastball. There's no way that you're going to catch up with that one, and I think that the young man knows that. The ball was by him. That'll send you back to the bench mumbling to yourself, answering yourself.
Fastball in there to Jennings, a .226 batter with 3 runs batted in. This guy can hit. On the outside corner, strike 2.
He shouldn't fool with him. He should go right after him with this pitch right here and get into the dugout.
Slider swung on and missed. That'll end the inning. 9 set down to begin the afternoon by Randy Johnson. No score.
Well, that's pretty Amanda Llantos. She's a 15-year-old, and she's a tobacco-free little announcer. And if you'd like to try, you're between the ages of 9 and 15. For an opportunity, just send a Be Tobacco-Free pledge with your name, age, address, phone number, and parent signature. You send it to Be Tobacco-Free Little Announcer, Post Office Box 2095, Phoenix, Arizona 85001. And it's sponsored by the Arizona Department of Health Services. Remember, tobacco-free. That's the important thing. And the reward, you could be just like young Amanda Llantos, who's our tobacco-free little announcer today.
Look at that little guy.
Yeah, now see, he could do it. Be a big thrill for you.
Well, she is fired up, Joe.
I'm just glad she's tobacco-free, that's all.
Amen. Randy Johnson will lead things off here in the Diamondback third of a scoreless game. And he looks at ball one down low.
I think Randy's got a new bat. He's got one of those maple bats. He was swinging Felix Jose's bat in batting practice a couple days ago.
Yep.
That's a 36-ounce, 36-inch bat. Monday to Friday, they put telephone wires on.
Right.
That's the heaviest thing.
Foul out of play, first base side. Fastball on the outside corner, even a count of 2-2 on Randy. Back to the top of the order next, Steve Finley, and then Craig Counsell. Well, whatever bat it is, it's working mighty good, Joe.
Oh, he smacked it, too. There was nothing fluky about that. And there it is. He hit a line drive after Mr. Jennings had struck out the three previous hitters. There's the stance, there's the swing, and Randy says, by golly, I got me a hit. He stays right with it. He watched it all the way, just like those guys do when they hit home runs. I don't blame him.
Randy getting his fourth hit and 29 at bats on the year. And now it's Steve Finley, looks at ball one down low. Finley popped up to the first baseman his first time up. Steve had one hit and 4 at bats, walked twice, stole a base, scored 3 runs in the game last night. 1-1. Well, what a crowd here today. I brought it up earlier, Joe, but I mean, here we are, you know, the NFL back in full action today, and yet nearly a full house at Bank One Ballpark.
I tell you, I wish the people would check the attendance around the ballparks tomorrow morning.
I've been doing it. I've been doing it lately. We were talking about it the other night.
I'm telling you, these fans here, they deserve a lot of credit. They've really supported this ball club.
Base in right field, and Randy will advance on to second, 2 on with nobody out.
And I keep hearing that cliche, well, Arizona, Phoenix, they need a winner. They just want somebody to hustle and give them what they got. And they'll be out here, and they have been out here.
Well, the Diamondbacks 5th in the National League in attendance. And I mean, they're right behind the St. Louis Cardinals in attendance, averaging nearly 35,000 per game. The only 4 clubs that draw more: the Giants, the Dodgers, the Cubs, and St. Louis.
Look at that, Tom. Look at that lady waving that flag. I mean, she's not looking at the wild card standings. He's rooting for her Diamondbacks.
Only 3 teams in the American League have outdrawn the Diamondbacks: the Yankees, the Mariners, and the defending world champion Anaheim Angels.
I tell you, that shot that our guys had is a beautiful shot. Almost looked like Ann Arbor yesterday at Notre Dame Michigan game where they drew 111,726. I couldn't believe it.
They like their football in Michigan.
Whoa, do they ever. Tigers are playing private games. There goes the ball out of play. It had a speck of dirty dirt on it.
You know, the Diamondbacks average this year, their average attendance is higher than the largest crowd they've had for a game this year at Tampa Bay.
Whoa. That tells you something. That really tells you something.
Counsell puts down the bunt. Johnson bobbles the ball, and everybody's safe. Johnson wanted to throw down to third so badly because he knew Johnson was running.
Number 20,
took his eye apparently off the ball.
And he also dug up some turf, so he may have slipped. He's watching. Nope. There's where he tears up the turf right there. Too late. Johnson will come up with an error.
And give Counsell credit for a sacrifice in front of that error. So they're loaded with nobody out, and Luis Gonzalez a batter. Ball one high.
Tom, I don't know if it's me, but I think the Colorado outfield plays in shallow more than any team I've seen in a long time. There you take a good look at them. Look how shallow they are. I mean, they are really in close.
Especially Peyton in left field.
Well,
I don't know if I've ever seen any outfielder play that shallow unless maybe a pitcher is batting.
I think our Crackerjack crew will be able to show this, but there's an area behind him where most of the outfielders stand because the grass is worn. And you can see it behind him, and right there.
Yep. Line in the right center field, and will go to the wall. And up against the wall. 3 runs will score on a bases clearing double by Gonzalez.
Is going to come out as we watch Gonzo hit that ball into the gap, and they get a break. It does not bounce into the stands. It's off the wall, and that kept it in the ballpark, which meant that everybody could run, and they did.
Luis Gonzalez with now 98 runs batted in on the season. Too shy of reaching triple figures. Something he has done each and every year as a Diamondback. In 99, 111, 114 the next year, the monster year in 01 with 142 and then 103 last year.
Batting, number 43, right fielder, Raul Mondesi.
Still nobody out. Randy's got himself a 3-run lead, and they're still going.
Mondesi walked his first time up. And that ball launched away back left center field, and Monday will touch a ball.
Got to feel like he's in the high rent district with a 5-run lead. That fastball almost invariably. Watch this pitch. I mean, it was right down the middle. Man, does he ever get it all.
Strike one to Alex Cintron from Mondesi, his 6th home run as a Diamondback. He's knocked in 6 runs now in the last game and a half.
I always play a game when I'm sitting in the stands. When I see a pitching coach go out there, my mind says he's telling me, now you got to get ahead of the hitter. You can't pitch from behind the hitter.
You know, Joe, you brought up earlier before the ball game about looking back on this season and asking that eternal question, you know, what if?
Third baseman, Shea Hillenbrand.
All year long, we've been talking about the Diamondbacks' first pitch swinging. And you see the difference today, first pitch swinging at strikes, not balls.
That's the difference. And an aggressive swing. Just to complete that thought, which is pretty much on the same vein you're talking about. Whenever I'd see a pitching coach go out, I'd say, well, he's telling them he's got to get ahead of him. What's he going to get ahead of him with? 9 out of 10 times it's a fastball. So if you're a hitter, wait for it, look for it, and if it is, give it a good swing. I mean, the thing that bothers me is when a guy swings at a pitch and fouls it off like if he's a right-hand hitter, he doesn't pull it, hits it to the right side. You say that's a defensive swing. Come out of your shoes, pop a button, look like you really mean it. Why am I hollering?
Well, we're sitting about 10 feet away from each other, so you know I'm a little short on hearing.
No,
so.
no, but you got a headset on. My wife says the same thing. I mean, what are you hollering about? I said, I'm not hollering. Why am I you saying that?
Now one in the left field, a base hit by Hillenbrand. Fifth hit of the inning in what has been a 5-run Diamondback third.
Well, Tom, you're so right. We've talked about it all year long. It seems like nobody's upset at first ball hitting. It's how you go about it.
Now Mark Grace with 1 on, 5 in, 1 man out. And Grace fouls away a fastball, 0-1.
That's what I'm talking about now. That's the first pitch, and he was late on it, going down the third base side. But he hasn't been playing, so you give him benefit of the doubt. But the way the guys are hitting, I mean, you know, Mr. Jennings is not, he's not chump change. He's a pretty good pitcher. Mark was making a speech to Charlie Johnson. I used to love that when guys would talk. I'd look at him like, really? Is that right? They'll talk to anybody when they're bearing down.
Grace jumped all over that pitch. Well, that's what you mean by an aggressive cut.
Yes, but that ball was well spotted. There was nothing he could do. That thing was so far inside. That's about all he could do was hit it foul. That ball had been out a little bit more over the plate. It'd have been extra bases for Mark. He had a good swing at it. He was aggressive. You're right.
0-2 on Grace. Hillenbrand over at first with 1 away, and Jennings delivers. Breaking ball outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Interesting the way Charlie Johnson, when he went down that time, the outside part of the plate, most guys have put the meat hand behind him. He just kept it right in front of him, even though he made a one-handed catch.
One and 2. Line into right field, base hit. Stopping at second base is Hillenbrand. And the hits just keep on coming for the Diamondbacks here in the third.
Now batting, number 7, catcher, Robbie Hammond.
Gracie had a good cut, waited on it, and went after it. But let me ask you honestly, are you not in your mind saying, what if they'd have done this? What if, when we were going through that terrible time? That's what I'm talking about, man.
That's what every fan is saying.
I'll guarantee you.
Every one of them.
It'll eat you up. And they got all winter to think about it.
I mean, you know, it's not like it's just yesterday and today. I mean, you go back to last weekend in San Francisco when the Diamondbacks went in and beat the Giants 2 out of 3. Should have beaten them all 3 games in the series.
Right.
But they had so many innings where, you know, all of a sudden they're getting multiple run innings, which they have really missed more than anything else the whole year. I mean, that has been the difference. You talk about the games total, but multiple run innings add up to winning games.
You talked about La Russa. You know, you can't blame La Russa. As we took that shot at Brenly, you say to yourself, how smart you become when they start knocking in runs instead of leaving them in scoring position.
When you score, it makes it a whole lot easier.
Oh. Well, right now you take away the bunt, you take away the hit and run play, you take away the steal. That's 3 tools that they can't use. Could be a long winter for some of the boys. If you got any pride at all, because there ain't gonna be that many banquets. You're not gonna be going everywhere getting awards. When you don't win, the only banquet you go to is when they can't get somebody else.
That means you and I'll be very busy this winter. 2-2 the count. Slider down and away, full count.
Not really. That was good. I got to give you a good one. That was good.
Full count. 1 away. Hammock waits and Jennings delivers. Ball 4 and they are loaded. No activity in the Colorado bullpen. 9 men have come to the plate in this inning against Jennings, and 8 of the 9 have reached base.
Randy Johnson, 1 for 1, a single. He started it. You've been listening to Amanda Yantos, one of our little announcer, our tobacco-free announcer. 9 to 15, that's the age group. There's respect. Curveball. Amanda's been a good luck charm.
33rd pitch in the inning that was for Jason Jennings. Of course, it all started with a Randy Johnson single in the center field. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
I'd like to see him get a hit to get a couple runs, but then we have another statistic. First time pitcher gets 2 hits in the same inning to do whatever.
Yeah, but you'd be interested in that to know when's the last time that happened. A pitcher got 2 hits in an inning.
I can't wait.
Well, you might have to. It's 1-2 on Johnson.
So we're a catcher had an inside the park home run the other day. That's happened before, I know.
Did you have one?
I didn't say it for that reason. No, I didn't even come close. Are you kidding?
Look at this, Joe. Well, they had it played right. And the runner will stay put. Reyes has got a gun out there and right. Nearly threw it by the catcher. Missed a cutoff man. 2 away in the inning.
Amanda was ready to go. They had to slow her down.
Now batting, number 12, center fielder, Steve Finley.
She's doing a good job.
Yes, she is. And she's blowing kisses. To you, Tom.
Not to me. No, my wife doesn't even do that anymore.
Yes, she does. Don't tell me that.
No.
Especially since the little one came along, little Ella.
That's what I mean. And no more kisses from the wife. Bases loaded. Finley the batter. Steve has singled and scored in this inning already. They're loaded with 2 gone, and Jennings, a fastball at the belt, strike 1. The Marlins lost, the Phillies won. The Dodgers are leading in the bottom of the 3rd inning, 3-0. So the Phillies now a game and a half back. Dodgers trying to get to 2.5. 0-1 to Finley. High fly ball into deep right field. Drifting back Reyes with room, inning over. But a 5-run 3rd for the Diamondbacks. It started with a base hit by Randy Johnson. They load the bases. Gonzalez clears them with a double, and Mondesi follows that with a 2-run home.
Arizona Diamondbacks baseball is presented by Geico Direct, the sensible alternative. Peter Piper Pizza. Good food, good fun. No wonder everyone's happy. And by Miller Lite. Tell it over a great-tasting, less-filling Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
Diamondbacks lead 5-0 at the end of 3. Coming up in the 5th inning during our Shamrock Farms Farm Report, we'll of course hear from Tommy Jones, but we'll also be visiting with Steve Cobb, who is the head of the Arizona Fall League and also Major League Baseball's coordinator of Team USA, which, as you know, Joe, operates out of Tucson, Arizona.
Steve does a good job.
Oh, he does a great job.
And I'll tell you, fans here, that Fall League, you want to see some good-looking young ball players. And that Harvey kid last year was the most valuable player, ended up in Kansas City as a DH. And boy, I never saw a guy hit a ball as hard as he was hitting it.
Well, there'll be, what, 6 Arizona Diamondbacks that'll be playing in the Arizona Fall League, and Steve is going to be talking about that, along with, you know, the Olympic qualifier is going to be played this year for Team USA to try to get into the Olympic Games. And so there's going to be a Team USA that is going to be playing against the Fall League teams during the Arizona Fall League this year. And so you can get an early look at what will more than likely be the U.S. Olympic team if they can qualify, which they're going to have to do.
So I'm looking at this list of the Diamondbacks. Metters, Nippert, Santos, that kid.
Yeah, I want to see him play.
I want to see him play.
And that's not taking away anything from the other guys in the Diamondbacks farm system that are going to be there, because they're all deserving, and obviously they're all big-time prospects. But, you know, I mean, you hear so much more about the #1 picks, which Santos was last year, and then you talk to scouts from other teams that have seen him play in the minor leagues this year, and they just rave about it. Fly ball to left field. That'll be playable for Gonzalez. One away. Take a look at the list, Joe, of the guys you were just starting to mention.
He hit that ball off the end of the bat. There they are.
Brandon Metters, a reliever at El Paso. Dustin Nippert, a starter at South Bend with a 2.82 ERA. Sakaris, a closer at Lancaster, 23 saves on the year. Boy, Chris Snyder, they say things about him. Catcher, big-time power. Talked about Santos. And Josh Kroger at Lancaster hit .341, knocked in 55 runs in 78 games, and they moved him up to Double-A, and he knocked in 22 more. Ten in a row set down by Randy Johnson to begin the ball game. He has a 5-0 lead, and now it's 0-2 on Garrett Atkins.
You know, some people get the idea that it's almost like a tryout camp, but that's not it at all. Those kids are competing and competing hard. If you want to be think you can be a scout, come out and watch those kids play, and then you make your own predictions. I know for me it's going to be a melancholy time, as it always is, because I'll miss my man Joe Black. Joe and I would sit there and say, that kid, oh man, he's going to be a star in the big leagues. I don't know about that guy. Well, it's a great way to watch baseball. Steve Cobb's next to me. He starts what, September 30th, right? September 30th is when the Fall League starts.
Well, some of the Diamondbacks that played in the Arizona Fall League include Robbie Hammock, Shea Hillenbrand, Matt Cato, Lyle Overbay, Quentin McCracken, John Patterson, Junior Spivey, Chad Moeller, Craig Counsell, Steven Randolph, Mike Kopilov, Chris Capuano. This kid right here, in fact, played there last year. Atkins, along with Clint Barnes, who's in the lineup. Todd Helton played in the Fall League. And Preston Wilson. Mike Piazza. I mean, right on down the line. Some of the great stars in the game today. Check swing, and he did not go around. Ball 4. First base runner of the game for Colorado.
What a year this fella's having.
Told you earlier, by 10, he is a major league leader in runs batted in. Carlos Delgado leads over in the American League with 126. And Randy throwing Wilson nothing but gas. Struck him out on fastballs his first time up. And that first pitch fastball at 97 has Preston just shaking his head.
That ball was on him and by him, and he tried to react to it. It just seems so effortless by Randy. Look at that. Where was that?
There you see the National League leaders. Gary Sheffield has gone by Albert Pujols for second in the league behind Wilson. Slider down and in, 2-1. Houston won again today, and the Cubs lost today. Got shut out by Cincinnati 1-0. A 2-game lead for the Astros now in the Central over Chicago, and 5.5 in front of St. Louis.
Two balls, two strikes. He's done it mostly with fastballs. I'd love to see him throw that biting slider. Preston Wilson is really mumbling to himself. That usually is a sign of admiration for the opposing pitcher's stuff.
Another fastball, and again fouled back out of play. It remains 2-2 on Wilson.
See, Randy shook Robbie Hammock off that first pitch. You don't know if he was shaking off location or pitch. Good shot. This looks like it would be the slider.
Yep, got him swinging. Strikeout number 4 on the day for Randy Johnson. It's been a big year for Jay Payton. 26 home runs, 81 runs batted in. On April the 5th, he hit his first home run of this season, and it came against Randy Johnson. That was a Coors Field home run. Randy pitched brilliantly in that game and gave up a couple of those cheapies. But Payton didn't have a cheapie here the other night. In fact, that was last night in the second inning. That seems like about 4 games ago.
It sure does. Hit it to the opposite field. First pitch fastball. It's about letter high, and he hit it well.
1-0 to Jay Payton. Fastball, and Payton tardy. Randy throwing a lot more fastballs today than we've seen him in recent starts.
It's almost like he's trying to prove something to himself, and he's been very effective with that fastball. Threw 3 of them at least to Preston Wilson, then got him on that biting slider. As of right now, he's been in real control of himself and the game and his stuff.
Another fastball, 96. This might be the best velocity we have also seen in the Johnson fastball. And maybe that's why you're seeing it more. Maybe Randy feels like, you know what? I've got that fastball today, and I'm going to throw it.
Well, and they know he's got that slider. Like right now, if you're Payton, you got to be thinking, well, I got to be looking fastball. If he throws me a slider, I hope I can foul it off. Take a look and see what Robbie's doing. Fastball again.
Tapped weakly to short. Simcoe, a nice play to throw him out. A 1-out walk, and that's it in the Colorado 4th. After 3.5, Diamondbacks lead 5-0. I'd like to remind you about the Arizona Diamondbacks training centers. They will continue, and the fall schedule is now available. You can give us a call or log on at DiamondbacksTrainingCenters.com. They'll be working hand in hand as well at some of the Fall League games this year. A 3-day minicamp on an Arizona Fall League field. Ages 7 to 12. And we've got camps upcoming this fall in Peoria, out in Mesa, and Hoboken Park, Scottsdale Stadium, and Peoria. Greg Counsell with a base hit to open up the Diamondbacks'
Now
fourth
batting,
inning.
number 20, left fielder, Luis
And again, the number to
Gonzalez.
call, if you're interested, including a 5-day girls fast pitch softball training center. 1-800-821-7152, the number to dial. We'll look forward to seeing you out there. They are wonderfully done, those training centers.
Oh, Jeff Roden and his crew, they really do a great job.
Alonso bounces one foul up the first base line.
Gonzo is one of those guys usually takes the first pitch, but he'll do what he did just that time at bat to keep the opposition honest. Don't want to get that reputation that you never swing at the first pitch.
Five runs, 9 hits for the Diamondbacks, including the Mondesi 2-run home run in the 5-run third. No runs, no hits for Colorado. Fly ball off the end of the bat into short center. And Wilson will get there, 1 away.
Now batting, number 43, right fielder, Raul Mondesi.
He really hit this one. Mondesi plays with an edge. He comes with an attitude on that field, and I think that's great.
Down and away, ball 1. You know, Joe, we were talking about it last night. I think it's easy for a lot of people to say that Mondesi is not going to be a Diamondback next year, but I don't think anybody knows that for sure. I'm not sure the Diamondbacks know it yet, and I'm sure that Mondesi has not closed his mind to the idea of staying.
I agree with you 100%. Whoa, Charlie Johnson just took a whack. It got him on the hand. He's got that hand instead of behind him, nobody on. You protect it, but he's got a man on it first. Here they come out. He got whacked good. Let's see where it really gets him at.
It's almost like it pinched it, the hand right in between the ball and the shin guard.
Right. That went right off the shin guard, right off the knee.
Yeah.
Man, there are a couple places as a catcher you really hate to get hit. That is one of them. The other one is when that chest protector would slide down and you get hit in the Adam's apple.
And Steve Yeager, although he got a piece of the bat, right?
Yeah, that was the trainer Bill Bueller came up with that little, but now the protector even fits you better. And this right here is an added thing to protect the shoulder. I think I told that story up Campy because I asked for that thing when I had the shoulder injury and nobody really believed me, but when Campy wore it, everybody thought, wait, that's a good idea, which is okay, and it should be. I've been for all the protection in the world. I think they ought to have steel toes in the shoes for the catchers. It's certainly not going to hurt their speed.
1-1 to Mondesi. Now, why wouldn't they have him? I mean, that makes perfect sense.
I do. I mean, put all the equipment. I mean, I wanted to wear my father's work shoes. I mean, you wear them dumb baseball shoes, you get hit there, forget about it. I like those steel toe jobs.
Mondesi drops one down the left field line to hit. Counsell making a turn, coming to third. Here comes a throw. Not going to be in time. Throw to second. Mondesi didn't slide, and he's out. And he may have rolled over on that ankle by not sliding.
He didn't think that throw was coming over there. He anticipated the play. He's down. He hurt his ankle. And he's a guy who can play through pain. He saw that throw go towards third base. He thought that was the end of the play, but it was not. Watch it. It's down the line. Payton has to come over for it, and Counsell doesn't hesitate. And you can see the shortstop cut it off and make his play to second base because he really umpired the play thinking that Counsell was going to make it easily, which he did. And Mondesi is really limping. Now you see the play. Watch it all the way. Now watch this, the shortstop when the throw comes in the third. Mondesi, he thinks he's going to make it. He slows down, and all of a sudden he sees the throw coming this way, and that's where he got hurt.
Now batting number 10, shortstop, Alex Cintron.
Well, we'll see if Mondesi remains in the game. It's hard to imagine he's going to, the way he's limping down in that dugout. Runner third, 2 gone. Cintron the batter, and a breaking ball is too low.
That was a real heads-up play by the shortstop Barmes. I mean, he really umpired that play at third base,
Yep.
saying Counsell's going to make it, because you could see him point to second base, and then you saw Mondesi hold up thinking that the play was going to die at third base, and it didn't.
And if there is ever an example, and I mean ever an example, of why you should hit the cutoff man if you're an outfielder, that's the example right there. Because if you miss that cutoff man, or just sort of lob it in there, or airmail it over his head, you never get that out.
Never get him. And I tell you, two other parts of that equation you just brought up, Tom. Hit the cutoff man, true. Don't anticipate the call like Mondesi did, and if in doubt, slide. I mean, that's how you get hurt, is when you're in between.
A lot of guys get thrown out at second base because they don't break out of the box hard. You saw Mondesi. I mean, he comes busting out of there on every play. But he broke it down about 3 steps before he got to the second base bag.
Because he saw the throw going to third base, and he anticipated that's where the play was going to end. It's just like when a ball's hit down the line. I hate to see left fielders, granted it's going to be a double, they take it for granted. Maybe the guy's going to stumble, and they'll just flip it into third. Throw it.
Two and two to Cintron, who was single to right and grounded to second base.
And I know it's September, but I don't think they've taken infield practice any big league team since, what, Ash Wednesday of 1942. You never see infield anymore.
Ground ball to short. And that'll end the inning. I used to love going to the ballpark early to watch infield.
You don't ever see it anymore. It's going the way of dirt. It's obsolete.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Any retransmission or rebroadcast of the accounts and descriptions of this game without the expressed written consent of the Arizona Diamondbacks Baseball Club is strictly prohibited.
Danny Bautista will take over in right field for the injured Raul Mondesi. Again, if you missed it.
Now watch him slow up right about here. See, he thinks the play's going to stop. Oops, they're going to throw over here, and they got me. And I didn't slide. And now I'm hurt. Unfortunate accident.
Kid Pello to lead things off here in the Colorado 5th inning. 5 runs, 10 hits for the Diamondbacks. No runs, no hits for the Rockies.
That was interesting, Tom. He started him off with something besides the fastball. Looked like a slider. He might have just taken something off it. It was about 84, but it was not the fastball.
Oh, and 2.
Okay, I like the way he's pitching. I mean, he's established that fastball, and now, guys, here we go.
Wow, wanted that call. Fastball in the outside corner. Did not get the call from Brian Gorman, the home plate umpire.
He didn't miss by much, if he indeed missed it all.
Came right back with another fastball. That one at 97, and it's fouled away.
You never know, because Randy game day rarely speaks to anyone, but it looks like he's getting a lot of questions in his own mind answered. That's what it looks like to me today.
Randy, after today, The Diamondbacks have an off day tomorrow. They'll travel to Los Angeles, play the Dodgers Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So you got to believe Randy will pitch Friday night in Milwaukee. He would pitch on Wednesday in Colorado. And then that would be it for the season.
I was trying to figure out the pitching rotation. I think Schilling pitches the last game here against the Cardinals.
Swung on and room over there for Grace. One away.
Reyes hit that ball hard last time. Hit it to Mondesi in right field.
The two hardest hit balls in the game have been by Payton on a liner to center field in the second inning, and then, as Joe just mentioned, Rene Reyes. That liner to Mondesi, who made a nice play to end the second inning.
Good looking hitter, this kid. Very aggressive in that batter's box.
Popped up, foul ground, third base side, and that ball will drop about 7 rows out of play. Reyes is the only two-time league MVP in the Rockies organizational history. He earned the honor in the Arizona Rookie League in '98, the South Atlantic League in 2001. And Baseball America recently ranked him the third best prospect in the Rockies farm system. 25-year-old native Venezuelan. And that's the first Colorado hit of the game. On a 2-strike pitch, he just muscled it through into right field.
Looked like by that swing he wasn't trying to hit it that way. It just went off the bat that way. Sometimes guys will go to the opposite field, and you can see. Now watch him swing. He just a little bit late on it and plugged the hole.
Only the second time all day Johnson has pitched out of the stretch. 0-1 to Charles Johnson. The other time came after the 1-out walk to Garrett Atkins in the 4th inning. Oh, 2.
He just gets strike after strike. He's ahead of most of the hitters.
Well, he's thrown 67 pitches in the game, 48 for strikes, only 19 balls so far.
Well, if you were scouting him, you'd have to say control A, velocity on fastball A. Comes the slider.
Got him swinging. 5 strikeouts for Randy Johnson. Joe, you keep seeing Randy, almost like a golfer in a practice swing. He keeps turning that, right shoulder as if to remind himself to stay a little more closed up rather than flying open with that right shoulder.
Well, I said it before. I just have to believe he's answering a lot of questions. I mean, there was no way that Johnson was going to hit that if he'd had 3 swings at it, because it was breaking down, breaking in, good velocity on it, and that's where he throws that slider to really be tough.
1-1 to Clint Barmas, who struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. One on, 2 men out. Diamondbacks leading this one 5-0. Fouled out of play by Barmas, and Randy ahead now at 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Through 1 fastball, 2 sliders, and now he's set up to go any place he wants to go. He can come back with the fastball, or he can stay with that slider. Play a game with me. What do you think he's going to throw? I think he's going to come back with a fastball.
Me too.
Nope. Whoop. He shook him off. Here comes the fastball. If it's the last sign, he got him picked off.
Yep. Grace steps to make the throw down to Counsell, and that will cut down Reyes to end the inning. 1 hit, nobody left. Middle of the 5th. 5-0. Diamondbacks in front. Shamrock Farms presents a farm report for news about the teams and players in the Arizona Diamondbacks minor league system. A pleasure as always to have Tommy Jones with us. TJ, nice to see you.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
And we mentioned that Steve Cobb, the head of the Arizona Fall League and also Major League Baseball's coordinator for Team USA that operates out of Tucson, Arizona. Cobber, how you doing, buddy?
It's great to be here with you. I'm doing great.
Good. Now, look, before we get into some of these things about the Diamondbacks Fall League players, I was talking earlier about what you're going to do here this fall during the Fall League and trying to assemble what would be the team that's trying to qualify to become the United States Olympic team, Team USA. Now tell us about what's going to happen here this October in Arizona.
Well, since the Major League All-Star game, we have put together a 28-man selection committee. They're primarily Major League scouts, minor league scouts, etc. They've been canvassing the minor leagues for players that could be available to us to represent the United States in the Olympic qualification tournament in Panama City. What we're going to be doing here that's very unique in the Phoenix market is that we will be selecting 32 players and form a team that will play against the Arizona Fall League competition beginning October 10th through the 23rd. We'll use that as an evaluation backdrop and then select the team, obviously, and perhaps play a couple of games here in town against Team Canada.
Now, just so everybody out there knows, because it's gotten so skewed in some ways, because in baseball, you know, a lot of people say, well, you know, why isn't Randy Johnson on the U.S. Olympic team? Where in basketball, you know, you've got guys like David Robinson and Tim Duncan and right on down the line that have played. Well, to make sure I understand this right, Steve, a player who is on a Major League 25-man roster before the rosters expanded on September the 1st. Those guys cannot be on the team, right?
That is correct.
Okay,
correct.
And then you have to get the okay, I guess, from a Major League club that maybe has a guy on its 40-man roster or a guy in its minor league system for them to okay to let that player go play during all of this.
Exactly. It starts with the organization. We must have their permission before we would even think about approaching a player. Once that has occurred, then we will approach the player, and certainly if the player signs off and says, yes, I'm interested, that begins the process.
And it should be noted that, you know, I can't ask you about who any of these players are because, you know, some of the guys you're still getting together with that committee to find out what players at least are going to start on that team to then start to cut down that team.
Exactly. We're at about 45 players, and within the next week to 10 days, we will name that 32-man roster team.
Now, TJ, we were talking about the players that Diamondbacks are sending to the Arizona Fall League. I know that Andrew Good was recently taken off of that list.
That's right.
And but we went through and put up the list a little bit earlier. Are these, I guess the average fan would say, are these the best prospects in the Diamondbacks organization, or how does it work?
These are outstanding prospects, but quite honestly, we've got a lot of pitchers like Casey Daigle, like Aquino, like Stockman. They just have too many innings. Right. They don't need more innings. These guys that we're sending, the 3 pitchers we're sending, need the innings, and the 3 position players need the at-bats. And so I would tell you, of the 6 guys going, they're in the top 15 of our minor league prospects.
And here are the names again for those of you that weren't with us earlier. We talked about the years that Metters, Nippert, Sakaris all had as pitchers this season.
Right. Sakaris is the guy that's going to replace Goody. Goody's got a little tender shoulderness shoulder inflamed problem that's going to get rectified just by rest.
Right.
But Sakara's led the Cal League in saves this year and really has a tremendous arm, and we just want to see what he does against better competition.
Race robbed of a hit on a liner down the first, 2 away in the inning. Steve, the Fall League is going to get started when?
We begin Tuesday, September 30th. We will play Monday through Saturday for 7 weeks. Our season will officially end on the 13th of November with our championship game on the 15th of November.
And a lot of other teams sending their prospects here as well, obviously.
No question. We have 27 first-round draft picks in this league, and just a wealth of talent.
Wow.
So it's a great opportunity for baseball fans to see.
Diving play made it short by Barmas. He played in the Fall League last year. Robbie Hammock, a Fall League alumnus.
What a difference a year can make.
Indeed it can. The fans speak out, presented by Nissan and azdiamondbacks.com. TJ, quick question for you here from Maria Aldani of Rochester, Illinois. Who is the Diamondbacks' #1 prospect in the minor league?
Boy, that's a tough question. It's a great question, but I can't tell you one name right now. I really can't. We've got about 15 to 20 guys. I will tell you, a year ago, I could not have told you that Robbie Hammock, Brandon Webb, Matt Cata could have done what they've accomplished this year.
I don't even think you would have said Valverde last year, even though the year before he
really
would have been.
Yeah, 2 years ago I would have said he's capable of doing that. Last year he scuffled. He did not throw strikes last year, partly because he had some problems with his back, but the bottom line is he came on this year and actually pitched better in Bank One Ballpark than he did at TEP down in Tucson.
All right, well, then at least throw out a couple of names. She wrote all the way from Illinois, all right? Can you at least throw out a name? How about, I'll say a name.
Oh, and the inning goes on.
He's hit in the left field. We can't do that.
You throw some names out, I'll talk about them. I hate to rank them.
Talk about, Joe and I were talking before you got here. The kid who's going to be in a Fall League. You know, I talk to scouts in other organizations, and they say, you see this Sergio Santos, you're looking at a big league ball player.
Special guy, special guy. 1 year removed from high school, and what he did in the California League and the Texas League is truly remarkable. He has so much confidence, just right to the edge of being cocky, but I mean confidence that he felt if he was thrown in Bank One Ballpark for September, he would not be overmatched, intimidated. And that's half the battle, to have confidence in your game and your belief about what you can do. But he's got big-time skills, too. He's a big shortstop, but his thunder is his bat. That's what really separates him from a lot of guys. He can really swing the bat.
Steve, the Fall League, if there's one thing the fans could do to help the Arizona Fall League, would it be come to more games?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's probably the best sports value in town. It's $5 to sit anywhere you want to sit in the ballpark.
And great ballparks. I mean, the facilities we have here in Arizona are unbelievable.
We will be playing in Peoria at the Peoria Sports Complex, Scottsdale Stadium, and Mesa Hohokam Park. And they're very intimate parks.
Yeah.
It's fun for a baseball fan to be there.
Well, Joe and I were talking. Joe loves going to those games and sitting around. He used to with Joe Black to talk about, you think that guy will make it? Think this guy will make it? Fellas, great having you with us. Steve, best of luck on the Fall League.
Thank you very much.
Get started September the 30th.
Correct.
TJ, go hang out on those motorbikes with your kids. What are you doing up there in the desert?
Oh, you know what? Anything you can do to stay with your kids a little more, you got to do it. And right now, that's what we're doing.
All right. All right, fans, you can now have the boys of summer year-round with a new Diamondbacks calendar. The young up-and-coming D-backs featured in this 16-month calendar. Available for $10 at all Valley Team shops and at Tucson Electric Park. Or you can call an order at 1-877-TM-SHOPS.
Wait till the boys of winter calendar comes out, baby.
Now, are you in that boys of winter calendar, Joe? Are you?
I'm a prospect for it.
Are you really?
Oh, yeah.
Now, well, you know, in the boys of summer, they have the, you know, the guys in their shirts off because it's warm outside. Well, what does the boys of winter feature?
Never mind. When it comes out, you'll be surprised.
First pitch swinging, Clint Varmus into right field. Danny Bautista there. One away. Randy throwing the ball well, real well here today. He's only allowed one base hit, a one-out single on a 0-2 pitch to Rene Reyes in the 5th inning.
And he's getting ahead of the hitters for the most part.
Ronnie Belliard going to pinch hit now for Jason Jennings. who last 5 innings here today. 12 hits, 5 runs, all earned. They made a scoring change back in that Diamondback 5-run 3rd inning. Craig Counsell was given a sacrifice, and then an error was charged to Charles Johnson. They still have the error up there on the board, but we were told that it was changed to an infield bunt single by Counsell.
That error, I guess, is the one that went to the third baseman Atkins on that no tag play. A bunt single.
Right.
Hey, Counsell will take it. Kidding me?
Foul back behind the screen and out of play. Man, there are going to be some fun series as you get started around baseball here these final 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today, the regular season is over. Swing and a miss, and gone on strikes Belliard. That's 6 strikeouts now for Randy Johnson. You know, the Diamondbacks have a chance to be the spoiler as far as the Dodgers are concerned, as Adam Bernero throws in the Rocky bullpen. Diamondbacks will play the Dodgers Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this week upcoming. Boy, how about the schedule of the Florida Marlins here over these final 2 weeks? They just played Atlanta 3. They go to Philadelphia for 3. They go to Atlanta for 4. They come home to Philadelphia for 3.
And Jack McKeon is telling the guys we're peaking at the right time. That's what he's telling them.
Now, the Phillies will obviously host the Marlins this week. Cincinnati will come in for 3, but then the Phillies finish their last 2 series of the year in Florida for 3, and then play Atlanta at home for 3.
It's not exactly that famous walk in the park.
No. And then you look at the Cubs and Houston. Houston now a 2-game lead. The Cubs by far have the easiest schedule of anybody. I mean, by far. If the Cubs don't win the Central Division, they don't deserve to win the Central Division, because you stack up their schedule against the Astros and the Cardinals, and there is no contest. They just finished with the Reds. They've got the New York Mets coming in for 3. They play a 4-game series in Pittsburgh, 3-game series in Cincinnati, and play the last 3 games of the year at home against the Pirates. While the Astros are having to play at Colorado, at St. Louis, play the Giants for 3 games, and then play Milwaukee.
But you said it before, the spoiler thing, that becomes a factor.
Oh yeah.
The teams that are not in the race, man, they'll ratchet up a notch. Even that bad Pittsburgh team who lost 112 out of 154. We couldn't wait for those big guys to come in and say, hey man, we can knock them off. That's the only joy, that's the only satisfaction you get out of it.
Look what happened with Pittsburgh this weekend. They played Philadelphia 3 games and beat them 2 out of 3. Got beat today. Strike 3 to Steins, and Randy Johnson has allowed 1 hit in 6 innings. He has struck out 7 and walked only 1 and leads 5-0. It's time for the Bank One home run jackpot inning, and our contestant from Payson, Arizona, playing for $1,000 is Rex Cox. The Diamondback player hits a home run, Rex. $1,000 coming your way. Good luck. And the Diamondbacks have a heart of the order coming up. Our next direct connect to the bullpen brings on the former Detroit Tiger, right-hander Adam Bernero.
He was in the game last night. I tell you, there was a parade of them last night.
Told you about Bernero this season. He began the year in the Tigers starting rotation. Went 1-12 and had the worst run support in the major leagues. The Tigers scored 2.5 runs per 9 innings while he was in the game. And Joe, we were kidding around about it last night when he came in. You know, normally when you're a pitcher and the team you're pitching for calls you up and says, hey, guess what? We're going to trade you to Colorado. You say, oh, why there? Anywhere but there. Well, it's got to be better than the way the Tigers are going.
Absolutely. And he's got another opportunity, all new surroundings, and it's still the big leagues. It's still the big leagues. Make no mistake about it. I was glad to see that Moroth kid come back and win the game.
Yep. I tell you, you know what? Those kids have not said, no, I don't want the ball.
No, I mean, you lose 20 games, man. That's a lot to live with. But that kid, as you say, Tom, he wanted the ball.
I read that article recently, I think it was in the USA Today, about Brian Kingman, the last 20-game loser. He's made his home here in Phoenix for many, many years. I didn't realize that until I read the article.
You have to be a pretty good pitcher to get the call to be able to lose 20 games. I mean, I know some Roger Craig lost 20 games. Murray Dixon going back. You get 2 runs a game as an average, as you were just talking about. A little tough to win ball games.
Yep. Comebacker to the mound, and Bernero makes a play. He'll throw out Gonzalez and 2 away. Now Danny Bautista will bat for the first time since taking over for Raul Mondesi, who injured his ankle. Rolling over it out at second base. Mondesi had walked, hit a 2-run home run, and singled in 3 plate appearances. Danny at 275 and a bouncing ball foul. He has finished the season playing his best baseball of the year.
Swinging the bat when he was going through that bad time there, was reaching for the ball. There's a tendency to still do it, but not as much as he used to. He had a pretty good cut right there.
Ground ball left side, and Bautista grounds out to end the inning. We move to the 7th. The Diamondbacks have a 5-0 lead. Five-0 ball game. Diamondbacks in front. Randy Johnson has been the story here today, both on the mound and at the plate. The big fellow with 7 strikeouts, Joe. He has allowed only 1 base hit in the ball game.
He's answered a lot of questions, and with the bat. Hey, if he got that 1 hit in that inning, we would have had another statistic. Man.
You know, you look back on what if, and I think maybe more than anything else, and certainly the offense has been by far the biggest disappointment so far in this season. But Randy Johnson and Curt Schilling are the 2 players this team is built around. You can talk about a lot of other guys. They are the most important players on this team and have been really over the last couple of years, including taking them right to the World Series and winning the World Series 2 years ago. They've missed a combined nearly 35 starts this season, and when you miss that many starts, it has a domino effect on so many different areas of the team. You come to rely on those guys getting the ball twice every 5 days, 7 innings, 8 innings, 9 innings, giving your bullpen a break, and more importantly, winning your team's games. Look at last year. 47 wins between the 2. This season, 11.
Just add 5 to each guy. It's not out of the question. It's not a ridiculous thing to do, and you see where would the club be? No, they're the lead dog. I mean, they'll change the scenery for you. That's why everybody thought, me included, that second half was really going to be something when they came back.
Yep.
Was going to be some ride, put the seatbelt on and everything else, and whoa.
Well, you know, a lot of people don't want to hear about your problems. They don't want to hear about your injuries, meaning other teams around baseball. But I continue to bring up, and I'll say it until I'm blue in the face, and it's not an excuse. It's just a fact. take the top 2 starters on any team in baseball and have them miss the number of games that they have missed. And look at this. After winning 47 or more games in the history of baseball by any duo, Johnson and Schilling right now would combine for the fewest number of wins the following year. Joe, we're going back to the 1912 season.
I wasn't even playing then. That tells you something.
But go to any team. I don't care which one you're talking about. Go to the Oakland A's. Go to the Mariners. Go to the Yankees. Go to the Giants. Go to the Braves. Take away their best 2 starting pitchers and have them miss basically 3/4 of the year. And you tell me if you think that team is in a playoff hunt. Then in no way. I mean, not even debatable. Well, if you take Jason Schmidt and pick whoever the second best pitcher is on a Giant team and have those 2 guys miss over 35 starts for the year, and there is no way they have the record they have right now.
Take the Yankees. Take Clemens out of there.
Pryor and Wood for the Cubs. Take them away. Or Pryor and Zambrano.
Or Clement.
Yeah, well, any of them.
Take 2 of them away. Any 2 you want. That's why I tell you what these baby backs did was just amazing to keep them in the hunt, which gave us great hope from after the All-Star game. But they hit more than a speed bump, man. There they are. Wood, Cada, Cintron.
Oh. Fastball, strike 3 called, and again at 96 miles per hour. And Johnson staring down Wilson as if to say, you can do that home run trot against somebody else. Try to make contact here today against me.
He's got, what, 94 pitches. We got 2 outs here in the 7th inning, 8 strikeouts. I imagine those young baby backs are sitting there saying, ooh, am I glad I'm on this side.
Got that right. Well, they're getting a look at Randy Johnson today, and they haven't seen the Randy Johnson much this whole year.
They're getting the real thing today. You're right.
Randy looking up there on the scoreboard, and he turned around and saw that Preston Wilson is still up on the board with an 0-2 count. He turned around again and said, that guy's not batting again. He looked into the umpire and says, well, what's the count? Jay Payton is a batter, and the count is 1-1. Randy kind of chuckling about it. Wilson's still up there with an 0-2 count.
Well, maybe the battery's going weak.
Slider now 1-2.
He's gone more to that slider as we get into the late innings here.
97 pitches thrown by Johnson.
If you're the hitter now, and he throws you a fastball like he did and throws you the slider, it's just tough to look for anything at all except try to find that ball with that bat. There it goes.
Wow. 9 strikeouts in the game for the big unit. He has allowed 1 hit through 7 innings. Certainly this is a memorable day for manager Bob Brenly. We'll get to that here in just a moment. Diamondbacks bat in the bottom half of the 7th inning, and they lead 5-0. Ball 1 to Alex Cintron. You have heard us talk about the day in Bob Brenly's career where he committed 4 errors as a third baseman in 1 inning. That one lined to the third baseman as if on cue. That was in 1986 on this date. Brenly getting a rare start over at third. There's 1 boot. There's 2. The throw makes it 3. And there's number 4. And then, of course, to cap it all off, he won the game with a home run off Paul Ossenmacher. How about that? Leadoff up is the second out of the inning. And now Mark Grace. 1 of 3 has hit the ball hard twice after striking out his first time up. Single to right field in the 3rd inning. And hit a liner on a nice play made by the first baseman Kit Pello his last time up in the 5th. Fly ball into left field and playable out there for Jay Payton. 2 away, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning as Grace lifts that fly ball to left. We had 4 of the 8th. Randy Johnson still in the game working on a 1-hitter. Fandemonium weekend. The 27th and 28th, the final 2 games of the regular season. They'll be played here at Bank One Ballpark. Told you we'll be giving away a Nissan, plane tickets and trips on America West Airlines, a Nextel phone, a lifetime supply of Shamrock Farms ice cream. All kinds of goodies, Joe.
Oh, I'm going to be here. I never win, though. I don't
It's
even.
because you get free tickets for crying out loud.
No, I buy 2 tickets up there, 38 bananas a piece, boy. No, I buy them. When I sit down in Joe's seats, I don't pay for those. But
Well,
I buy 2 seats. Right up there, section 209. Guys come up to me always and say the same thing. Didn't you used to be somebody?
fastball up to Kit Pello leading off the 8th inning. But you'll be in the booth
Sunday
for
But I wanna-
Fandemonium weekend.
I want to win something. I tried to get a Gonzo doll. I didn't even get that. I scratched and said, "You're not a winner."
Fly ball into right field. And Danny Bautista's got it. Boy, this has been nice to watch Randy Johnson here today, Joe. He does not have a complete game all year long. He has thrown 104 pitches. He's 5 outs away from that complete game.
And he has just been like a surgeon. He has just carved him up. He's been in complete control of himself, his pitches.
75 strikes, now 76 strikes, and only 29 balls.
Well, that's been the big thing, in addition to obviously the apparent good stuff that he's got. But he has just stayed ahead of these hitters.
Ground ball to the shortstop. Centrone's got it. And throws out the only Rocky with a hit in the game today, Rene Reyes. On an 0-2 pitch in the 5th inning, Reyes shot a single through the hole into right field. The only Colorado hit. Randy has walked just 1 batter while striking out 9. Ground ball right back to Johnson. Randy now 3 outs away from a complete game. He leads 5-0. We go to the bottom of the 8th.
Arizona Diamondbacks baseball is presented by Pepsi, the choice of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Fry's and Fry's Marketplace. Come in and catch the savings. And by Bank One, official bank of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Member FDIC.
No activity in the Diamondback bullpen. Randy Johnson working on a 1-hit shutout through the front 8 innings. Diamondbacks bat in the home half of the 8th inning after getting all 5 runs in the game back in the 3rd inning. A 3-run double by Gonzalez and a 2-run home run by Mondesi. And those youngsters, they keep making those, I think, Joe, for every player.
I don't blame them. They're having fun at the ballpark. Tom, I can't help but point out here, our Cracker Jack crew will get shots of it. They can talk about defense and how to pitch a guy and all that, but outfielders always migrate to the same spot. I don't care where it is, what park. And this is the time of the year that the spot is worn out. Look at there. See, they migrate right there. That's where the grass is dead. And Peyton, I mean, it's funny to me. That's in right field. And here's the spot right here. And the roof is closed here, but if you play in a park where there is no roof, it's usually where the light stand is, throws a shadow. They can go over with all the charts and graphs and laptops and no laptops, and that guy's going to find a shade.
Indeed. Robbie Hammock to lead it off. Against a new Colorado pitcher, the third used today by manager Clint Hurdle. Left-hander Brian Fuentes getting an inning of work here today with the Diamondbacks leading in the bottom of the 8th inning, 5-0. Randy Johnson due up next, and I would suspect he will get a big round of applause when he comes walking up to the plate.
He's got a chance to get a standing O, I think.
Well, here comes Randy Johnson.
Pitcher, Randy Johnson.
Randy has done it all here today. Told you on the mound, he's thrown a one-hitter, struck out 9, walked 1 at the plate. He's 2 for 3, a pair of singles, has scored a run.
Oh, I'd love to see him get another hit. Oh, wouldn't that be great?
Well, after this one today, the Diamondbacks will be hitting the road. They will play 9 games in 10 days. 3 in Los Angeles, 3 next weekend in Milwaukee, then play these Rockies 3 games next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in Denver, and then come back home for the final 3 games of the regular season. And Joe, you'll be in the booth for the final 2 telecasts of the year on that Friday night.
Right.
Well, against the St. Louis Cardinals on September the 26th, and you and I'll be here on Sunday the 28th. And I would imagine there's a legitimate chance that somewhere in baseball there may be a 1-game playoff on that Monday.
The way it's gone.
The Seattle Mariners lead their game 1-0. That game is in the top of the 7th inning. Seattle beating Anaheim. The Red Sox lost earlier today. If Seattle wins that game, they leapfrog Boston into the wild card lead by a half game. Randy, a fly ball into right field. 2-0.
It's hard to believe you play that big a schedule and you're going to end up needing a playoff.
Well, now the unit gets that standing up.
Good crowd and a very appreciative crowd.
Steve Finley, 1 of 4 in the game. Singled and scored back in that 5-run 3rd inning. Diamondbacks had 5 runs on 7 hits in the 3rd. They have 5 hits total in the other 6 2/3. Fly ball, center field. Wilson back there to get it. at-bats at in the 8th. Randy Johnson going for his first complete game of what has been a tough 2003 season when we come back. Well, the Diamondbacks are on the move with Dirks, and here's where we're going. L.A. tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The Dodgers are leading their game in the 7th inning. They'll be 2.5 back in that wild card race. On to Milwaukee for 3, and then 3 in Denver. All 9 games of the road trip will be on the tube. Randy Johnson turned 40 years old 4 days ago, and this has been his best start of this season. There is no debate about that. A season that saw Johnson nearly miss 3 months due to knee surgery. He has thrown some very, very good games, but certainly not pitching at 100%. Has had inconsistency since coming back from that knee surgery. But today, the Randy Johnson of old. And there are a lot of people out there, and I mean, it's just the age we live in, that are going to say, well, the Rockies ran out their quote-unquote B team. You know what? Baloney. It's not his fault that that's the lineup they ran out there. Randy just took the ball, went out there, and did what he is paid to do, and he has done it beautifully through 8 innings.
Regardless of who you run out there, they're big leaguers. That's why they're here. But I tell you, the kind of stuff that he's got and has shown today, he has just been so dominant. It wouldn't make much difference who's in that lineup.
One and 2 the count on Clint Barmes leading off the inning. The last complete game for Randy Johnson was on September the 26th, nearly a year ago. Last year when he went the distance against Colorado. The 87th complete game of his career in a 4-2 win over Randy Flores. His last shutout was on September the 14th, 1 year ago today, when he blanked Milwaukee 5-0, his 34th career shutout.
Took something off that pitch. I'd look for smoke to be coming up on this one.
Three and 2 now to Barmes. Fastball swung on and fouled back out of play. We'll do it again at 3 and 2.
It's a great shot of Schilling and Brandon Webb, man. It's one of those Mount Rushmore pictures.
Schilling will get the ball Tuesday night. He deemed himself, after throwing in the bullpen yesterday, ready for his start on Tuesday night against LA. Brandon Webb will get the ball Wednesday night. Boy, you think those games are big for the Dodgers?
Oh.
Man. Three-two pitch. Strike 3 call. 10th strikeout of the game for Randy Johnson. The 190th career double-digit strikeout game, 25 shy of Nolan Ryan's major league record. And our Geico Direct moment, the only base hit of the game so far for Colorado on an 0-2 pitch in the 5th inning, a single by Rene Reyes.
And you could see by that swing, he wasn't going that way. That ball was kind of by him. He just swung and off the bat it went. Clean hit. And, I mean, there was nothing fluky about it, but it wasn't like he was driving the ball there. Greg Norton, pinch hitter.
And he has had quite a year off the Colorado bench. This guy can swing the bat. Randy 2 outs away from a complete game shutout. Norton 20 pinch hits to lead the league this season, including 3 pinch hit home runs. 1-1. And Randy still rushing it up there. That fastball here in the 9th inning at 95 miles per hour.
Tell you, he's still got command of everything. In fact, that strikeout he had on Barmas, it looked like he dropped his arm. Almost came sidearm. Look at that.
Fastball 96 on his season high 118th pitch of the game. Slider got him swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts here for the unit in the ninth. 11 in the game.
If he gets a quick strike here, Tom, I think this crowd will be on their feet looking for him to strike out the side. They're really going right along with him.
Chris Stein's a batter 0 for 3. Struck out his last time up. Fastball, strike 1. Took a little off there. Well, maybe Joe, Randy Johnson laying that groundwork looking ahead to 2004.
Oh, he's delivering a message today, no question about it.
0-2.
Listen to the crowd.
You asked a question at the beginning of the game. What if? What if this guy had been healthy all year? Randy Johnson, a complete game, 1-hit shutout. His 88th career complete game, his 35th career shutout. And Johnson-like here today.
And one of the first things he did was to congratulate his catcher, Robbie Hammock. In fact, he just patted him on the head right now. Happy face, Randy Johnson.
Oh, and Joe, FYI, with that last strikeout, thirst busters for everybody in the joint.
Oh, man, last night got a chalupa. Honey, we're going to dinner tonight.
What a game for Randy Johnson. 1 single. The only Colorado hit by Rene Reyes in the 5th.
Arizona Diamondbacks baseball is presented by Checker Auto Parts, the power of the star. Nissan, shift. Nextel, official wireless partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Budweiser, the best things in life are the things that are true. Budweiser. KFC, there's fast food, then there's KFC. MasterCard, the preferred card of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Cox Communications, visit us at cox.com. Blimpie, the official sub of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona Department of Health Services, who reminds you to inhale life. And by 76 and Circle K, your home team.
With all the great accomplishments Randy Johnson has had in his run with the Arizona Diamondbacks, today is the first time he has thrown a one-hitter as an Arizona Diamondback. He has 4 of them now in his career. The last one came in 1998 with Seattle when he one-hit Minnesota on July the 16th. We'll get this season's gear before it's too late with a great selection of MLB Authentic Collection caps, home and road jerseys, and everything else you need to enjoy the game. Shop azdiamondbacks.com for all things baseball. Well, coming up next on News Channel 3, D-backs playing hardball, Sunday sidekicks, and Joe Garagiola digging into the turf at Bank One Ballpark. Hardball airs at 9:30 on KWBA in Tucson tonight. Our next game on the Diamondbacks television network Friday from Milwaukee, where the Diamondbacks take on the Brewers. Join the long-lost Jimmy T and me from Miller Park beginning at 5 o'clock. The Diamondback series against the Dodgers can be seen on Fox Sports Net Arizona starting Tuesday at 6:30. Our producer Mark Reed, our director Scott Geyer, our graphics coordinator John McCann. For the Hall of Famer Joe Garagiola and our entire crew, I'm Thom Brennaman saying thanks so much for being with us. Randy Johnson, a complete game, 1-hit shutout. Diamondbacks win it We'll see you Tuesday